Hello, Aries friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Aries December 2024 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. I'm calling the theme of this month Matrix Cracking Miracles, and I'm so excited to share with you all of the ways that is true. I have Aries rising, so everything I read for you, I'm also reading for myself. This is for you if Aries is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign like me, or any other Aries placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. If you're a very late degree Aries friend, so birthdays like April 15th through the rest of the sign, or Aries degrees like 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Taurus report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Podcast friends, I will put the chart up as the thumbnail. So if you want to have a peek, we're going to have a lot of concentration right at the top of the chart, but there's stuff to talk about all over this chart. And I'm going to get into all the layers of what can crack us out of the matrix that is holding us back, that is limiting us, how even with and especially with our ruler Mars being retrograde, Mercury being retrograde, a crazy major aspect of Jupiter squaring Saturn, all of these Sagittarius fellow fire planets, Mars being in Leo, a ton of Cap energy, how all of that can help us to crack out of these limiting experiences that we've been having and open up into a whole new way of being just in time for the new year and starting fresh and really clearing up a lot of unfinished business. Okay, so let's take this piece by piece. There are so many things that we can discuss. The first thing that's most noteworthy and jumping out at me is this predominance of Sagittarius energy still. Sun, new moon on December 1st, Mercury retrograde. Let's see, started the shadow period November 8th, retrograde on the 25th of November, retrograde until mid-month, the 14th of December, and then it takes a little while until January 3rd for that to wear off. So the second half of the month will be much more clear from the retrograde energy, but we'll definitely be feeling that. But either way, all of that is in Sagittarius. Fellow fire sign, whenever it's a time of fire, Leo aspects, which we've got the Mars retro in Leo, Sag aspects, so we have it on both sides. We've got a grand trine of matrix cracking possibilities. A grand trine is when there are notable things happening in all of the signs of an element. So if you look at this chart, on the left side, like under the 9 o'clock position, the thing that looks like headphones in North Node, Chiron, long-term transit in Aries, North Node in Aries, Chiron in Aries, Hygeia in Aries, Eris, super long-term transit in Aries. We've got all of this Aries representation, some shorter term, some longer term. Then we have the very quick moving, but present, and this activating force is really, a lot of it's coming from the Sag placements. And then we've got this long-term story of Mars in Leo in retrograde. It's predominantly retrograde in Cancer, but it is spending more time in Leo than it normally would because of this retrograde process, and the retrograde is featuring this energy. So it creates this fire portal of magical matrix cracking, miracles. It's so exciting. It's so fiery. It's so vibrant. And we can get all of these areas of our lives activated. Okay, so these forces coming together are bringing the combination of the fifth house with our passions, our purpose, children, creativity, our bucket list, things that we love to do, the ways we express ourselves that feel, authentic, combined with the energy of Sagittarius, education and horizon broadening, perspective improving, vibe increasing, going super wide and with our viewpoints, and being wide open to creative solutions, teaching, learning, anything having to do with different countries and different cultures and travel and publishing and writing and speaking, anything where we're taking information in and we're sending the information out, and we're doing that in a vibrant, saggy way. So that area, international arena, speaking our truth, getting it out there in a big way is lit up like crazy. And then the first house of our identity, of how we put ourselves out there in the world, how people see us, how we want to be seen. We've been undergoing a very long process of Chiron in our sign, not been fun, but now when these other planets join Chiron and, these other placements in these trine formations, now it can activate the goodness. Now that woundedness that we had from our foundational experience can be healed. now the things that were bad for us can be converted into good. Talk about lemonade. This is matrix cracking power right here. Everything that has been difficult for us, our self-esteem, underlying doubts, anything that is that Achilles heel can be flipped around into a strength. So this is really getting us out of the box. If you have been unhealthy or you've had a medical ailment, you may be able to crack out of it now. If you are not aware of what the heck your pancreas does and how vital it is to your longevity, learn about it. Understand how the pancreas and the gallbladder and the liver work together with your digestive system, including starting right from your mouth, your saliva, the salivary amylase, the whole cascade. I invite you to learn about this digestive process and where it may be going awry, where it may be sluggish. I invite you, the universe, I'm inviting you through the universe, through your chart. The universe is inviting you to have these solutions come in, seeing, mainstream practitioners for diagnostics, seeing alternative practitioners like acupuncturists to see if your gallbladder meridians or your other digestive meridians are sluggish. There is a lot of physical body stuff that wants to be healed for Aries at this time. And I've made so many discoveries as an Aries rising that I keep filtering to you, because you can actually be a happier, less frustrated person, less aggro, more go with the flow if you tend to your gallbladder. Basically, I mean, that's just it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not making a medical recommendation. I'm telling you to connect with medical people who can help you determine this and do your own research. When Mars is in retrograde, it can bring frustration. This is our ruler. The things of going forward, cardinal movement, are going backwards. That can bring a lot of frustration for an Aries. But I promise you that the more you tend to your digestive process, the less frustrating life will be for you. Not just now, but always. Okay. This is a very key point. When there's congestion in your body, there's congestion in your life. Okay. There's a mirror. We live in a holographic reality. So all of these things can be activated. And these are major areas of forward movement. And I could talk about that for so long, but we have other things to talk about. So the days right at the beginning of the month, around December 1st, fantastic for setting intentions, making new moon wishes, and, really asking for, praying for, manifesting the perspective that will help you to be empowered in your life. All right, now really just starting from the beginning of the month, Pallas Athena, Venus, and Ceres are in Cap. December 22nd, the sun will join them there. December 30th, we'll have a black moon, at least for the Eastern time zone and East, when we have the new moon at 9 degrees of Cap. And, that's a Capricorn party. We actually even have more Capricorn energy than we do Sag energy this month. And for Aries, everything is always double, because when there's a planet moving through a sign, it's also moving through that corresponding house. So Capricorn corresponds with the 10th house. So whenever we have Capricorn transits in the sky, we also have 10th house ruler of Capricorn transits in our chart. So everything is always doubly true. That's why everything is always so full on with Aries. It's like, okay, this is going on, and then double it. So this is about business. This is about enterprise. This is about authority and having authority in your life. This is about coming to terms with parental issues from the past, or stepping into you being your best parent. This is about you becoming known and recognized for your work. It's about your employment. It's about your public life, whether it has to do with money or not. These are passion projects. These are things that at the zenith of your chart, the top of the chart, where you shine when the sun at high noon right there is just beating down with all of its brilliance. What is that makes you shine out there in the world where everyone can see it? That's what Capricorn brings. And even though it does bring a square, okay, so December into January, when we have Capricorn stuff, there's always a little pressure for us. Aries doesn't hate pressure. I mean, sometimes we get overwhelmed, right? But we tend to just blast through it. The ways that we use to blast through challenges at this time, we may need a little bit of a different strategy because Mars is in retrograde. Usually we just blast through obstacles. That's what we do. It's a cardinal movement in the forward direction is how Aries moves. But with Mars in retrograde, we might have to get a little roundabout. We might have to get a little, creative, a little bit behind the scenes with our efforts, because just blazing straight through something might not work at this time. So if you try to blaze through something and it doesn't work, instead of letting frustration come in, say, okay, honey told me this would happen. I'm going to use all that Sagittarius energy, that ninth house engagement, to think of a creative solution, to engage with, something outside of the box, to climb to the top of the mountain and look down at a problem that you might not be able to see well down at the surface. Like if a beaver builds a dam in a river a mile up and you're here in this town and your water is dried up, you can't see that the beaver built that. But if you climb to the top of the mountain, you may be able to see that. And so that's the point at this time, is you may have to get a little strategic with how you do obstacle handling at this time. Okay, so the third house is very heavily aspected for us. This is a good thing because this is a 60-degree angle of opportunities and possibilities. I always like to call it the ingredients and a counter aspect. It's a positive aspect where someone gives you the ingredients you need to create something, but you often have to do something with it. You have to take action steps this month. It's fine, but it's important to take into consideration the retrogrades. Mars and Mercury are pulling the tides in. If you try to push something out when the tides are going in, it'll get bounced back to you, but you can use that to your advantage. Short-term things, flexible things, experimental things, things with a tilt to the past, things with a tilt inward. Those are the action steps. Smaller steps that lead to the bigger goal. You can't get to the bigger goal right now, but smaller steps that lead to that. Taking a few backtrack steps of having to correct certain things so that you can blaze forward. Like for instance, if you have to vacuum, but there's like a bunch of things that would interfere, those minutes that you take to take up all of those things in the way are annoying. But then when you go to vacuum, it's smooth and easy. It's kind of like that. So this time is very much about getting all of those things on the floor away so that when you vacuum, you can be more productive. And so any of those small steps can be easily scheduled. Just try to not do your big launches, your major decisions. Things are not clear right now. Their information is coming in. You may change your mind, so you don't want to, promise anything or make something permanent if it's in your hands, because, it's an introspective energy where you're evaluating, reassessing, editing, regenerating, resting, renewing, just kind of going back and having a look at, analyzing it, but not necessarily making big decisions from it. But information is very key. Jupiter is still moving through Gemini, which rules the third house, and it's moving through our third house. It is retrograde right now, but it is still enhancing information coming in and out from May 2024 into June 2025. Excellent for education. These Sag placements, these Gemini movements, all of this is amazing for education. So if you need to educate yourself to further your work, your Capricorn world, or to further your enrichment, your Sagittarius, feeling of being right in the world, the key may be through education at this time. And this full moon in the days around the 15th of December brings fullness and completion and fruition and possibly drama to that world. Siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins also might be highlighted at this time. There are some tips that I want to give you to coax out these matrix cracking miracles, but I want to give you some specifics about the new moon and the full moon. Everyone in the Aries spectrum can feel these goodies, but the new moon is at 9 degrees of Sag on December 1st. So those of you who are in the early degree placements, so those are like March 25th through April 5th, the closer to around April 1st, 4 degrees through 14 degrees, the closer to 9 degrees. Early degree people, the more you may get some oomph from that new moon. Late degree friends, this may be more notable for you, this full moon in Gemini, so 19 degrees through 29 degrees. So that's going to be like April 18th, and 5 days before and after or so, like April 13th through around April 23rd. And the more you are closer to that 24 degrees, the more you may get the kiss from the full moon. Now, I want to give you a few ways that a person who may be impatient by nature can do inner work. That is what Mars wants. That's what Mercury retrograde wants. It's what Mars retrograde wants. Do inner work and use the introspective energy It's kind of like introspection for impatient people is what I'm trying to construct here, because I know, how Aries can be. And not every Aries person is impatient. You may have more Taurus super patience, be on the line there, or you may have other placements in your chart that you don't have this trait. But Aries people are known for being a little bit impatient. And I remember when I was a kid growing up, my dad would always say, patience, Annie, patience. You know how annoying that is. So I want to give you 4 ways that you can help to coax out these matrix cracking miracles by doing your job that the universe wants you to do. And one thing is micro meditation. Meditation benefits are cumulative. So instead of like a long traditional meditation session, you can try like a 3-minute meditation where you focus on your breath, even if it's 1 minute. Anything that gets you out of everything, even an hour digital detox, just something small, something that will cut out the stimuli and give you a chance to really just tune in to your breath, to your body sensations. You can repeat a positive mantra for that time. So that's a micro meditation. And, even just doing this daily it can turn out to be a nice high point in your day. You can also journal in short bursts. A really powerful way that you can clear energy is to write a bunch of things that you're annoyed about with somebody in like either bullet points or words. Like you can use whatever descriptive words you want, but basically like what it is about a person or a situation that bothers you, slow, annoying, idiot, whatever words you are feeling. You write those down the left column, and on the right side, look for their opposites. And as you pair those opposites, you basically pray or ask for your subconscious mind, superpower, the benevolent source to help you transcend those swinging back and forth between those polarized states. So that's something you can do really quickly, or you can set a timer for 5 minutes and journal in a short burst just to get some of this energy out. You can also do a very short gratitude practice. 3 things you're grateful for at the beginning of the day, 3 things you're grateful for at the end of the day. Those tween times when we go to sleep and when we wake up, our mind is very, very receptive to energy at that time. So programming gratitude in those minutes can actually go farther than doing a longer spurt at a different time of day. And then mindful movement. So just something like yoga, walking, stretching, just focusing on being present in your body. Aries people sometimes, even though Aries rules the physical body, and we like to be very physically active, most of us, sometimes the lines of communication between our body, like through symptoms or through our body talking to us, get a little bit muted through the actual action. So whatever you can do to kind of just rebuild that pathway, that communication pattern. Okay, so I've got 2 more very, very important dates and aspects to go over. Before that, I just want to tell you, if you're a person that you like the dates, and I always give you a ton of dates, because they're very important to know, go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in, click receive. That will have you join my free VIP community. I give a ton. Most of my work in the world is free. And I give even more free stuff, including earlier horoscope access, etc., to my free VIP community. So you'll get lots of perks joining this community. But the one that I'm focused on now is my December 2024 astrology report. So when you go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in, you'll get the welcome letter. And then you go to the archive link, and then in that search bar in the archive link, put December 2024 astrology. And that will pull up my list of the sweet and salty dates of the month, what you may see from them, and a write-up of just the general overview. If you're a visual person, this can also be super helpful. And you get this a month early in your inbox, so you have it for your planning purposes. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple more dates, and both of these have the potential to crack you out of the matrix and bring miracle energy. Okay, so the first one is through pressure. We do the pressure one first and do the sweet one last. This way we can end off on a positive note. And even that pressure one, I'm going to show you how to make lemonade from that one. So we have in process a very profound outer planet connection with Jupiter and Saturn squaring. When outer planets make a connection, it's very profound because they move slowly and they do their work over a longer period of time. This exact transit was happening and very close in proximity August and September, faded a little bit. Now it's here again. Official date of connection is December 24th, but it's only a few degrees, like up to a couple of degrees away all month. So even before like fading, fading into December and fading out of December, is going to be strong. So this is a long-term thing where Saturn that rules Capricorn, which is one of the dominant features this month, and Jupiter that rules Sag, which is the other one, are in a point of conflict, and they're completely different forces. Saturn restricts, Jupiter expands. Saturn is stern, Jupiter is happy and positive. So these forces within yourself or forces outside of you and then with yourself are coming here. Somebody is putting a kibosh on your fun. Somebody is being excessive and you need them to tighten up and be accountable. Maybe, something like this is at odds. But the way you can make lemonade is by finding the balance, okay? And you can find the balance by letting Jupiter loosen up any narrow focus that Saturn may have. And then you can let Saturn firm up anything that's too excessive or too spread thin with Jupiter. So that can crack you out of this matrix of excess versus restriction, of, a flow versus impediment. There's something that wants to be cracked out of here, and this squares are the best matrix cracking magic, really, of all. Even sometimes better than trines, which are favorable aspects, because ultimately everything is working for our favor, especially if we view it that way. All right, so my favorite aspects of the month, and I do have quite a few favorites this month. I'm just going to give you the one. You can get the rest in that report. The days around the 19th of December, when Venus will move from Cap into Aquarius and trine Jupiter. So remember when I said the early degree people, you'll be feeling maybe have more opportunities at that new moon. The late degree people, you may have more opportunities at that full moon. Well, middle degree people, you're going to get even more matrix cracking potential from the Jupiter-Saturn thing, and you may get more good potential from Venus and Jupiter coming together in the days around the 19th. So both of those aspects occur around 14 degrees. Okay, Saturn and Jupiter, and then Venus and Jupiter. So that means we'll say like 9 degrees through 19 degrees. The closer to around 14 degrees, the more you get, the intensity or the more noticeable outcomes. But remember, these aspects are available for everybody. Nobody's being left out of this. But the closer it is in proximity to a mathematical, point in our chart, the more we may notice, the more oomph it may have. So that's going to be like around April 11th, April 12th, April 1st through around, April 1st, April 2nd through around April 11th, 12th, and the closer you are to around April 7th, the more, and these dates are not exact. It's the days around it because the sun doesn't move into Aries on the same day each year. So, that gives a couple of day window, but the degrees would be exact. If you know your degrees, you can do it exactly. Otherwise, we have to do this roundabout range. Basically, the middle degree people, are going to get the intensity from there. So, for better and worse. So the Venus aspect, Venus rules love and beauty and money and design and, confidence and comfort. And Jupiter is a great expander. So great romantic news and experiences, breakthroughs in love, financial windfalls, anything having to do with comfort and confidence being expanded, and luck. Jupiter and Venus coming together in the most favorable aspect in all of astrology sometimes just delivers luck right into your lap. So that's the days around the 19th, and it'll be days before and days afterwards. If you have to take one of those small steps, remember, because the tides are coming in, we're not trying to do these outlandish goals and do all this stuff out here. But, if you have to do something important, this is a beautiful transit to lock in, taking a step or doing an experiment or trying something on or running a promo or, planning a nice event or something like that. So all of these are little small steps near the shore that eventually, when the tides go out, can help you reach those big goals when the energy turns that way. You can see why I've been so excited about this matrix cracking miracle potential. I've outlined all of the ways I can see this happening for us, given you a short list of powerful practices that you can take advantage of now at any time that are specifically if you're impatient or you don't want to invest that much time or you don't have that much time to invest. I gave you that list of, micro meditation and all of that. So some ways that you can work with the universe to coax in these matrix cracking miracles. Okay, so if you have resonated with my work, then please click like and subscribe and click the bell. I've heard that if you don't click the bell, my posts won't go into your feed, but that's what you can do to help YouTube know that you resonate with my work. And you can also enable notifications, and all of those things will help guarantee that you won't miss anything from me. If you love the dates, sweet and salty dates, things to be awareful and careful of, the awesome aspects, definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address, and click receive to get my very informative weekly newsletter. You get so many free things. Most of my work in the world is free. You get even more free stuff as a member of my free VIP community, which is what you become when you put your name and email address in there. When you click receive, you will get the welcome letter delivered into your inbox. It could be in spam. You'll have to move it into your inbox. Click on the archive link there and then put in the search December 2024 astrology. And that's where you will find the sweet and salty dates. I always email that out a month early to my VIP friends so that you can prepare and know the dates ahead of time and know what you're getting yourself into. And if you're a visual learner, you could see all the dates there and have everything in a written format. So at anniehelpsyou.com, you can unleash by joining my free VIP community. You can upgrade by accessing my secret star portal. This gets the earliest possible access to all of my work. You do get the horoscopes and other posts early in my free VIP community too, and then you get them extra early in the secret star portal. You also get written horoscopes monthly for each sign and so much more when you upgrade there. And if you want to learn astrology, then you can click on up level and see my options. You can start with the basics, or you can dive deep into my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification course. If you think I put a lot into my free work, you should see what I put into this course. It has well over 100 modules and growing, and it can take you from beginner to earning money in a very short amount of time if you apply what I teach you that way. And for people who have already been well versed with astrology, if you can't seem to tie it all together because you know so much and you don't know where to go in the chart to give a concise, effective reading every time, that is my specialty. Plus, if you're trying to monetize your love of astrology, that is my area of expertise. So you can click on up level when you're there at anniehelpsyou.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.